superintendent, causing fallout at California's largest school district.
This decision comes after days of closed-door meetings by the school board. Let's go live to Fox 11's Ed Lascos in downtown LA with more on this developing story. Ed.
And Marla, this unprecedented action comes with a unanimous 7-0 vote by the Board of Education after spending 2 days, some 8 hours of meetings behind closed doors the last couple of days, trying to decide what action to take, finally making that decision when it comes to their embattled superintendent. Watch.
We need to change the way education is funded in the state of California.
The chief of LA schools, Alberto Carvalho, is now a suspended superintendent.
The Board of Education today unanimously voted to place Superintendent Alberto Carvalho on paid administrative leave, pending investigation.
The Board of Education with its bombshell announcement, Carvalho now on paid administrative leave, on leave with pay, effective immediately.
I know that this is a very challenging time, and I want you to know that the board believes in you, supports you.
The Board of Education now on damage control, sending out that message to its teachers as LAUSD is reeling after a series of dramatic FBI raids at Carvalho's home in San Pedro, his district office, and another home in Miami.
So it's concerning.
And it's sad that it had to come to this?
Yeah, it's sad because we thought, I don't know what's wrong, if he's a good person or involved in something that we don't know.
It makes you think, like, what was you doing for you to be suspended? So yeah, that's something we have to really just wait and see what's going on with that. Because that is very shocking.
The federal raids all thought to be connected to this chatbot.
Hi, I'm learning every day just like you.
Carvalho strongly supported that AI program, with the district paying out $3 million, but it was never implemented in the schools.
That would be the least thing that we would have thought of, but although it has happened, it is, unfortunate, but we have to move on.
And they are moving on, naming District Administrator Andres Chait as acting superintendent.
Moving forward, employees, you'll be taking direction from him.
And now live as we move forward, Andres Chait, no stranger to LAUSD. He's been with the district some 27 years, currently serving as its chief of operations and safety. And the big question, ladies, everybody's been asking here is how long is this going to be the case where you have Carvalho being sort of suspended and we're waiting for all of it to play out? And the decision is indefinitely because it's all hinged and centers around where that FBI investigation goes, where the feds go with their investigation dealing with Alberto Carvalho.
So, Ed, as we head into the weekend on this Friday night after a week of development, still no official news conference from the school district. We haven't heard from Alberto Carvalho himself. So still kind of watching this all play out.
Yeah, watching it play out, and sadly we're getting it piece by piece, little bits of information. Even when they made the announcement, it was a very terse announcement a couple of hours ago here at district headquarters. The district did put out, I should say the Board of Education did put out a statement right after they made their official announcement here saying they took this action because they wanted to, again, prioritize what they call world-class learning and teaching in their classrooms. But that's all. You would think, certainly, I agree with you, there would be a press conference, a major press conference. Think about it. This man, Carvalho, heading up the second largest school district in the entire country. And then you have something like this and everybody is quiet. You ask questions down here and they say, well, it's under investigation. We can't say anything. So you fill in the blanks.
Yet he's still making his $440,000 a year.
Yes, exactly. Paid administrative leave, on leave with pay. That was another big sticking point, I understand, in the negotiations or the discussions back and forth all those hours behind closed doors is what do we do? Is he going to be suspended? And then the big question, suspended with pay, without pay. So they decide basically to give him, as one of the parents who was so angry did not want to go on camera when we were talking to her, but she said, imagine that if we get suspended at work, there's no pay. This guy gets suspended and he's still making big bucks. And I said to her, boy, you should say that on camera. She said she was just too upset about it.
Well, we should know, we don't know the nature of the FBI investigation. The FBI is not revealing that, and there have been no charges and no arrests. We should note that.
All right,
yeah, very good point. He's still an innocent man. Yep. Go ahead.
Nope. I didn't mean to jump in and cut you off. But yes, to that end, he is still a free man, not facing any charges, and we'll continue to watch this one as it plays out. Thank you. New tonight, a tragic loss for a local family after they say a bullying incident at a middle school is linked to the death of a 12-year-old girl.
Fox 11's Rachel Aragon is live in Reseda with what led to the child's sudden medical emergency. The vigil being held tonight in her honor. Rachel.
Yeah, this is such a tragic story. Tonight, we're learning more about 12-year-old Kimberly. We know that she's a sixth grader here at Reseda Middle School. Her family tells me she loved volleyball. She was very bright and wanted to learn French. Take a look here. This is a photo of her in the hospital with her father shortly before she passed. Again, the family just heartbroken over what happened. They say she died days after a school bullying incident at the middle school. Now, according to the girl's family, a metal bottle was thrown at her, striking her in the head, and then days after, they say their daughter had a big major headache. She ended up being rushed to the hospital and underwent surgery but did not survive. Well, earlier I spoke to Kimberly's uncle, who was like a second father to her, and he says that this bullying is unacceptable and the family is just truly heartbreaking. Take a listen.
It's the fear of every parent and every uncle and every brother and every loved one to lose someone, but especially when it's somebody so young that did nothing wrong to anybody, and she had no bad bone in her body, and it's just unfair.
Now, LA Unified School District did release a statement saying in part, our thoughts and condolences are with the students' family, friends, and the entire school community. They also say the district takes safety and well-being of our students very seriously, and we are currently cooperating with law enforcement in connection to this incident. Now, the family, though, also set up a GoFundMe, of course, raising funds for the family. I also learned, by the way, that this young girl, Kimberly, she was the youngest of 5 kids. I also reached out to LAPD. They tell me this is being investigated as a homicide, but given that it involves minors, they are not releasing any more information at this time. As you can see right behind me, there are still plenty of people outside tonight in Reseda mourning the loss of this 12-year-old girl. We're pretty live tonight. I'm Rachel Aragon. I'll send it back to you.
So, anyone in custody at this point?
I asked LAPD earlier if there are any charges right now, and again, they said it's being investigated as a homicide, but because it involves minors, they're not releasing any more information at this time. I will, though, say that there was a rally earlier today demanding justice for Kimberly. A lot of her friends, I'm told, were out here earlier saying they want some kind of accountability for what happened.
I'm just going back to the death of this child. She's hit in the head with a bottle, and she ends up dying.
There ended up being some kind of blood clottage from what I was told from the family. And the sad part was the uncle who you just heard from, he says he was with her when she said she felt that major headache. And it just kind of snowballed from there. So, tragic story.
It really is. All right, Rachel, thank you so much.
All right, looking out at the San Fernando Valley on this Friday night, this was one of the hottest days on record for many places. Let's check in with our meteorologist, Star Harvey, tonight. Hi, Star.
Hi. Yeah, you know, I spent some time up in the San Fernando Valley today. I had my son Bryce up there trying out for a soccer team. And when I tell you that heat nearly took me out, I don't know how those kids were out there doing their thing. So good luck to all of them, and good luck to anyone that had to bear the heat today. As we do roll over into tomorrow, we are going to continue under these dry conditions. I can tell you, however, that it is going to get slightly cooler as we push into both our Saturday and definitely our Sunday. If we compare our temperatures to yesterday around this time, not too big of a difference. We do have most of the areas seeing about a 2 to 5 degree temperature change, and we're seeing those temperatures up from yesterday. We're looking at temperatures 10 degrees warmer across Long Beach than they were this time yesterday. Where does that land us? 81 degrees still holding in El Monte, and again, we're in our 8 o'clock hour here. 68 degrees in Corona, 77 in Ontario, and we do still have some heat packing in across the San Fernando Valley. 81 degrees in Porter Ranch, 76 over in Woodland Hills. Here's a look at our future gust. It's going to go ahead and roll there through this weekend. We do have some spots that will pick up some gusts across some of our mountains, but also into our coastline. You'll see our interior section are looking to be on the calmer side pushing into this weekend. Our lows tonight dropping down into the 40s, 50s, and we'll have even a few low 60s as well. I'll be back to talk about what your weekend will unfold like, but for now, Back to you, ladies.
All right, Star, thank you. A Riverside County family is outraged after their loved one was punched and beaten with a baton by a sheriff's deputy. The incident caught on camera. Fox 11's Nick Garcia reports from Paris.
Pay close attention to this video. You see Charles Beal getting out of the gray truck. A Riverside County Sheriff's deputy comes towards him. You then see the deputy punch Beal's face as he backs away from him. The deputy then hits Beal in the leg with a baton several times. Beal was unarmed, and you can see here he was not moving toward the deputy.
I'm not against no police officers for doing their job, but if a person don't have a weapon on them, if a person don't rush you and hit you, there's no need to put violence for violence. Getting hit with something metal.
That's Beal's brother, Frank. He says Beal does have a criminal history. Most of his arrests have been for failure to appear in court related to a possession charge.
Why y'all keep releasing him if y'all gonna say, if y'all know he's not gonna show up to court, just keep him in there until his court date.
He says Beal struggles with mental illness, and the reason he's missed court is because he's often in the hospital. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says the incident happened after deputies attempted a traffic stop and the suspect, quote, failed to follow deputies' commands. Beal's brother says authorities misrepresented the reason for the stop to him and claims the deputy has harassed Beal in the past.
Justify the stop. If you pulled him over for a traffic stop, why ask him where the drugs at? That's all I'm saying, because when I came out and I asked him, why are y'all stopping him? They said a routine traffic stop.
The Sheriff's Department says it is reviewing this use of force incident. Now, we did ask the Sheriff's Department some specific questions, including if punching a suspect or hitting them with a baton as they stepped away from the deputy were in line with department policy, but we're only told the incident is under review. In Paris, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Big Hollywood news here. Paramount and Warner Bros. Are merging in a $110 billion deal, creating that new Hollywood powerhouse. The agreement, expected to close by later this year, ends that bidding war with Netflix. The combined company would control major franchises like Harry Potter. Executives are also considering a merger of HBO Max and Paramount Plus to boost streaming competition. While the deal could generate up to $6 billion in savings, it's also sparking concerns about market competition and potential job losses. Shares of Paramount moved higher after the announcement, while Warner Bros. Prepares for regulatory review.
Still ahead at 8. First, Hillary Clinton, now former President Bill Clinton, testifying under oath about Jeffrey Epstein.
How he responded to questions about the convicted sex offender. Next.
I'm Susan Hirosuna in Boyle Heights. A 14-year-old boy is still in the hospital after an out-of-control driver ran him over. What Ethan Murrow has endured since Tuesday. That's coming up.
Former President Bill Clinton was under oath earlier today, telling a congressional committee what he knows about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Democrats on the Oversight Committee want President Trump to answer questions. Next, Fox's Rebecca Castor reports.
Behind closed doors at a performing arts center in Chappaqua, New York, former President Bill Clinton is facing hours of questioning by lawmakers looking into Jeffrey Epstein's sordid past.
President Clinton, as of right now, is cooperative and answering all of our questions.
Lawmakers plan to ask Clinton about photos like this, his frequent visits with Epstein at the White House and flights on his plane. In a statement shared on X, Clinton says, "As someone who grew up in a home with domestic abuse, not only would I not have flown on his plane, if I had any inkling of what he was doing, I would have turned him in myself."
I don't like seeing him deposed, but, you know, they certainly went after me a lot more than that.
President Trump uncharacteristically empathetic today after repeatedly throwing the Clintons under the bus when previously asked about the Epstein investigation. But now committee Democrats say Clinton testifying sets the stage for Trump.
We are now asking and demanding that President Trump officially come in and testify.
With Republicans in charge of Congress's investigation, it's almost certain that won't happen. But they are considering calling in Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who recently acknowledged he visited Epstein Island in 2012, years after Epstein was first charged for soliciting a minor.
We're going to continue to, ask questions of everyone that shows up in photos on the island and things like that.
During his testimony, Clinton was asked if he thought President Trump should testify, and he reportedly said Trump never said anything to him to imply he was involved. The committee's top Democrat disputes that, though, and told reporters to wait for the transcript to be released. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
In developing news, tonight a woman accused of a massive real estate fraud scheme is under arrest. The LAPD took 58-year-old Rita Ortiz into custody for filing false documents, including fake liens on properties worth millions. Investigators say Ortiz used her company, Ortiz Consulting, to target victims in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, and Riverside County. They say she also posed as a real estate consultant without a license. Authorities are urging anyone with information to contact the LAPD as the investigation continues.
Well, new details in that dramatic crash in downtown LA's Flower District. A 14-year-old boy still in the hospital tonight after an out-of-control car jumped the curb and then hit several pedestrians. Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna has that story.
Midday Tuesday, security video captures the moment when an SUV veers out of control onto the sidewalk and into a tree. The vehicle crash left behind crushed flowers and sent a half-dozen pedestrians to the hospital. 14-year-old Ethan Murrow was the most seriously hurt. His father remembers the call he got moments after his wife, mother-in-law, and son were hit.
Most horrific phone call. Nobody could give me information other than, about my son on the floor and just painted a horrible picture.
His family had never visited the Flower District in downtown LA, and after this, may never again. David Murrow described his son's first words to him after a 1-hour drive from Riverside to get to him in the hospital.
First thing he tells me, it says, "Dad, I'm okay. I need you to be strong, and we're going to make it through."
Wise words from one so young, and it is his youth that will help give him a full recovery. The crash shattered his right ankle. Thursday, surgeons repaired it.
A long surgery and screws and bolts and wires and plates to put everything back together, so the recovery road will be long.
For now, the ankle will keep Ethan from his nearly lifelong passion, baseball. He has big dreams of the big leagues that started when he was just 3.
You gonna play today?
Yeah. Until Tuesday's crash put a hold on his activities, Ethan was one of those kids that was always practicing, and he has the championships to prove it. Now the focus is on recovery. And what about the driver responsible for the crash? Murrow still doesn't know if this was an accident or if the driver will face charges.
When you change somebody's life the way that our lives were changed, absolutely, everything has repercussions.
Right now, we're told that Ethan is enjoying lots of visitors from family and friends. He doesn't know yet when he'll be able to go home. Both parents are not working to support their son, so a friend has set up a fundraising page, and you can find that page on our website, foxla.com. In Boyle Heights, Susan Hirosuna, Fox 11 News.
Coming up, these goats aren't just grazing, they are working.
Consider this fire prevention on 4 legs. We explain how the goats are helping keep blazes at bay next.
Weather is sponsored by My Home Sold.
It is a nice Friday night out. I would guess we're stuck inside here. I'm going to enjoy the weekend for sure. Star Harvey, how about that weather?
It's been impressive throughout our Friday here. In fact, it started yesterday and it does roll over into our weekend. What we're left with this evening in our soon-to-be 8:30 hour here is partly cloudy skies. It is still rather warm across some of the area. This is a view from our Mount Wilson camera here, and that's out across the San Fernando Valley. And I'm going to just draw you in closer to what's happening across the west coast here. We do still have that low pressure system sitting offshore, dragging in some of that moisture off to the north of us, but our high pressure system, it has really been protecting us from any of that wet weather, but also allowing for our temperatures to warm up today. This is how warm we got across some of the area. We did have a lot of our region get really close to our records, and then we did set a lot of new records for downtown. Our new record today, 91 degrees. That old record was in the upper 80s. Long Beach also saw a new record of 91 degrees, same as that 88 back in downtown LA. Ontario saw temperatures in the 90s today. We're going to go down that list down there to Fullerton, where temperatures reached 96 degrees, really close to that 100-degree mark, and they also beat out a temperature from 88 degrees way back when. Now, we are still expected that our warmth will move over into our weekend. In fact, Saturday still going to be on the warmer side. Wanting to point out that we may also have some of that dense fog in place as we do get into tomorrow as well, but the temperatures are going to be nice out there and it will be dry. Moving into Saturday, but also into the early parts of next week, we are going to see that steady cooling trend settle in across the area. And the good news is that we do again remain on the drier side. Here's a look at how we will get through our weekend. So moving into tomorrow, we do still show that batch of moisture off to the north of us, but also we do have some of those clouds making their way into the Southern California area, but that high pressure is still close enough to keep that moisture away from us. By the end of the weekend, we do show that high pressure system dissipating, and with that, we show that moisture seeping down not just into Northern California, but into Central California as well. Not quite reaching us down here in the LA area. Moving into next week, Monday, you'll notice that we are still on the drier side, and that system bringing in that wet weather for the weekend across Northern California will have moved off to the east as well. And as we do make our way through even the middle of next week, our conditions are going to be very nice, still dry, and those temperatures getting closer to their averages. I'll be back with a look at your 7-day forecast. For now, back to you.
All right, Star, thank you. Still ahead, a serial child molester rearrested right before being released on parole. A 30-year-old case keeping him behind bars for now.
Plus, we are checking in with Laura Diaz.
A famous actress and reality star says that she was drugged at a popular West Hollywood establishment. Those shocking allegations has everyone buzzing. That story coming up.
Across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Actress and former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Lisa Rinna says she was drugged during a night out in West Hollywood at the Abbey and later tested positive for fentanyl.
And Rinna is claiming others have had similar experiences at that venue. Fox 11's Laura Diaz, she's live in West Hollywood with the latest. Laura.
Yes, Marla and Christine, we're right here in West Hollywood at the center of nightlife. And as you can imagine, it wasn't hard to find people to weigh in on the allegations made by Rinna.
Watch your drink. Don't let it go unattended.
Reaction was swift after hearing the allegations put forth by actress Lisa Rinna on sister station Good Day New York that her drink was spiked with drugs while attending a party at the Abbey in West Hollywood. Rinna underscored the bombshell claim to hosts Rosanna Scotto and Jerry O'Connell, who pressed her on why she thought she'd been roofied.
You made news about, you thought that maybe you were roofied at the party.
Yes. I was.
You know that for certain?
Well, I do.
Did you take like a test or something?
I did.
Do you know what it was?
I had fentanyl in my system.
What?
Yes, I'm not kidding. I had fentanyl, high levels of amphetamines and other things, but I can't talk a lot about it because we're still dealing with it. I can't say, but it was at the Abbey in West Hollywood.
On a warm Friday evening in front of the Abbey, most people we talked to knew about what the actress said happened to her at the popular West Hollywood establishment. Management at the Abbey wouldn't comment on the claim Friday, but they did release a prepared statement that read in part, "We pulled and reviewed all available surveillance footage from the time in question and interviewed staff on duty. We found no evidence of drink tampering or suspicious behavior toward her." Patrons were split on the allegation.
I think that's horrible. I think a lot of women come here thinking it's a gay bar and that it's safer, but I've heard about the allegations about the roofie.
I don't know what places like the Abbey can do to control that because it's so easy to mix that drug into your drinks.
There's already been so many stories of her on Housewives. She does a lot of stuff, a lot of drugs.
As far as the Sheriff's Department, the West Hollywood station put out that they are aware of the incident involving a local establishment in the city of West Hollywood. At this time, they say the incident has not been reported to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We urge the victim to reach out to West Hollywood Sheriff's Station so the incident can be documented and investigated. That is the end of their formal quote. But when we reached out to a lot of people by phone, nobody wanted to do an in-person interview. The most we could get was folks walking by who were willing to weigh in on the controversy. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from West Hollywood, sending it back to the station.
So we don't know why she hasn't actually filed a complaint with the Sheriff's Department.
No, we don't. As you heard her on that program coming out of New York at our sister station, she said that it was leaked out. It sounded as though she didn't want the information to become public, but somehow it got out, and now they were sort of waiting. That was how I read or interpreted what she said in New York. But I guess there'll be more follow-up on this, but until a formal report has been filed, they're saying here at the sheriff's substation they have nothing to investigate. But many of the people who were walking by really wanted to talk about this conversation, and the gentleman who you heard at the top and again later on, he said that actually he had experienced it out of state, not here in West Hollywood. He said it was a horrifying incident that he underwent. He had to be rushed to the hospital, that he was lucky that his friends took him to the hospital, or he thought he could have died. He said he thought it was something very hard to protect against in any establishment where there are large crushes of people and alcohol or even just any kind of drink is being served. So I found that to be quite interesting, maybe something all of us should use when we think about when we go into large groups to protect our drinks. Something interesting to discuss on a Friday.
Just a reminder that you just can't leave your drink unattended in this day and age. All right, Laura, thanks so much.
Yes.
Several cars collided with a Metro bus in Van Nuys today. This is eastbound Sherman Way at Havenhurst. Skyfox was above it this afternoon. 4 or 5 vehicles were involved. No word on what caused the crash or if anyone needed to be hospitalized.
5 suspects allegedly involved in this Beverly Hills robbery in 2024 are now under arrest. I remember we covered this on the news. Detectives say the armed robbers confronted 2 victims outside a retail store on Rodeo Drive. One was struck in the head with a gun. Another was thrown to the ground and kicked. Investigators say the suspect stole handbags, cash, and an engagement ring. Beverly Hills police say the suspects are all residents of Oakland, not from here.
Outrage and a last-minute twist. A convicted serial child molester was rearrested after technically being freed after being granted parole by the California Parole Board. 64-year-old David Allen Funston was taken into custody by Placer County authorities on new charges stemming from a 1996 felony case in Roseville. That what you just saw there was his latest mugshot. Funston had been granted parole under the state's elderly parole program, despite being sentenced to more than 3 life sentences. I spoke to the former Sacramento County Deputy DA who successfully prosecuted Funston in the late 1990s.
Obviously, I'm relieved is probably the best way to say it because, you know, the bottom line is he was released from prison. So the fact that the Placer County DA stepped up and did the work in a very, very quick turnaround speaks volumes about his commitment to public safety.
So he was officially granted parole. He was officially released, but literally upon his release, Placer County officials were waiting to take him into custody on these new charges that do date back to the mid-1990s.
Yes, that's my understanding of exactly what happened. He was never actually out of any law enforcement's custody.
Funston is now being held on a felony charge of lewd and lascivious act on a child under 14 years old. He is due in court next week.
Oh, we just saw that and we caught it on camera. Oh, no!
A shocking crash in North Hills this morning was caught on dash cam. Around 10 a.m., a car darted into traffic at Nordoff and Orion near the 405, slamming into a pickup truck. The impact sent the truck spinning, throwing a man in a wheelchair into a tamale stand. He was rushed to the hospital, but his condition still unknown.
This woman over here was turning off of Orion onto Nordoff, and she was pretty aggressive. She ran into the Silverado truck, or was totaled her car. He ran into another wheelchair-ridden pedestrian that was waiting for his food on the side of the road, and he flew into the parking lot off the curb.
Others were injured, but details are unclear. The LAPD is investigating. Explosive, never-before-seen depositions from firefighters that shed new light on the deadly Palisades fire. The videos are raising serious questions about what may have gone wrong before the flames turned catastrophic.
The interviews were edited and released by attorneys representing thousands of fire victims. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf with the new details.
I haven't really spoken much on it because it kind of sits heavy with me that nobody listened to me.
For the first time, depositions from Los Angeles firefighters are now public, revealing what they say happened with the Lockman fire, later becoming known as the deadly Palisades fire.
I haven't seen anybody step up and take responsibility.
Early New Year's morning, the initial Lockman fire burned about 8 acres.
Fire line came right up to here.
The next day, it was declared contained and crews packed up.
There was like red hot, like coals that was still smoldering, and I even heard crackling.
One firefighter testifies he urged others to stay and douse hot spots.
I was like, hey guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Like maybe we should be charging these lines instead of picking them up. And then they just kind of looked at it and were like, huh.
Where you guys are at is state park land, right?
Yes, sir.
Depositions also describe conversations with California State Park staff who firefighters say told them they'd monitor the area.
They'll have state park people looking at this area.
And he had stated he's going to be here for a couple of days, him and his crew patrolling the area.
And that was on the 1st, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever return to the scene of the fire after the 1st?
No.
It's possible that these LA City firefighters left thinking that the state was going to be watching the remnants of the Lockman fire.
That's exactly what the state park representatives that were there at the Lockman fire burn scar told the LAFD.
Just days later, in roughly the same spot, the Palisades fire erupted out of control, burning roughly 6,000 buildings and killing 12 people.
I'll go ahead and say it. I saw some stuff that didn't line up with what I saw coming out from my leaders. ATF.
Attorneys say this is just the first wave of testimony, with more depositions expected as lawsuits multiply.
Seeing the city of Los Angeles suing the state, SoCal Gas suing the state, multiple insurance carriers suing the state. The Palisades fire would not have happened if the state had managed its property correctly.
Mayor Karen Bass's office provided a statement tonight saying these revelations are tremendously alarming. Mayor Bass has been extremely public about her demand for transparency and accountability to inform ongoing fire department reforms because those affected deserve nothing less. LA County Supervisors Lindsay Horvath also provided us with a statement saying in part, the LAFD testimony is gutting for residents who lost everything. It aggravates already painful wounds. Our communities deserve answers about the mop-up failures following the Lockman fire. This is essential to healing and earning back their trust.
In just over 100 days, Los Angeles hosts the largest single sporting event in the world, the FIFA World Cup. The countdown is already changing lives. The LA World Cup Host Committee is holding 26 free soccer clinics for kids 6 to 12. Tomorrow, 150 young players hit the field at Cal State LA. They'll learn from professional coaches, meet role models, and build confidence. The CEO of the host committee says the clinics help grow the game and create access for families.
It's a great opportunity to inspire the next generation of kids. And we've all seen any participation in athletic programs really does kind of set them on a good path going forward. And frankly makes them much more employable for jobs in the future because they work on discipline and teamwork and all the great skills you learn through soccer, and soccer is such a great sport.
World Cup events include a fan zone and community events so families can take part, even if you don't have a ticket. Organizers hope this moment leaves a legacy that lasts long after the final whistle. Stay up to date with everything related to World Cup soccer by watching Football HQ. It airs every Friday night over on Fox 11 at 10:30 p.m. You can stream it as well wherever you watch, or Fox Local is our app.
All right, coming up, we are checking in with meteorologist Star Harvey.
Well, we had a lot of heat today. We set some records, and we're also going to see this heat follow us into the weekend. I'll have the details on how much of it and how long it sticks around on the other side of this break.
There's art that you can buy. There's art that you can also play.
This year, one fair in Culver City turns ping pong into a way to rebuild Altadena. Fox 11's Coco McAvoy reports.
Hey there, LA Art Week is underway right now, so it's really perfect to have this engaging art fair here happening in Culver City at 3 Labs. It is called the Other Art Fair. I am here with Nicole now, Global Fair Director. So tell us all about the Other Art Fair.
So the Other Art Fair is a global gathering of emerging artists from all over the world. We have 15 countries represented, 17 U.S. states, and about half of the exhibitors here are from Los Angeles. So we're really excited to have everyone all under one roof with works to sell, and the artists are all here to meet them in person.
That's amazing. And your largest ever edition here for Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
160 artists?
160 artists, so many works for sale. Works are all under $10,000, starting from about $100 and up. So really something for everyone, whether it's for their home or special memento to take home. So we're so excited to be here. First time in Culver City.
Yes, and so much beautiful artwork. You have to tell us about this too, because it's really interactive for people.
Yes, so we are hosting a fun drop-in ping pong tournament called Play It Forward, and it's really all about supporting Altadena Brick by Brick, which is a new 501c3 supporting people to rebuild their homes in Altadena after the fire. So we partnered with the Art of Ping Pong, which is a UK-based company, and they work with artists to design specialty mini ping pong tables. They're all hangable on walls when they're not in use, and then you can take them down and play. So we're excited to have people come out and play, make a donation, and these works are also up for a silent auction. So hoping to support a great cause.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for talking to us. You have got to come and check out the Other Art Fair. It opened yesterday, but it's also open today and through the weekend. Tickets start at $20. I'll send it back to you.
Well, happy Friday and happy... I'll let you take it away.
Yes, we have a very special but also beautiful young girl at home. Yes, Dallas. We are wishing Dallas a very happy 8th birthday from everyone here at Fox.
Happy birthday, Dallas.
Happy birthday, Dallas.
Happy birthday, beautiful. But that's not it, Dallas. We got a phone call from your mom. We know you're at home watching right now. And she wanted us to let you know that next week on Monday, you're not just getting to skip school, but you are getting to skip school and you are going to be taking a trip to Disneyland.
Wow. Are we going too?
I got to make that phone call because we want to come too, okay? We want to see Mickey and the gang, but you're going to be going with your mom and your younger sister, Denim, and I do hope that you guys have a beautiful time.
Send pictures.
Yes.
I feel like we need to sing her happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dallas. Happy birthday to you.
Yay. Happy birthday, beautiful.
That's so sweet.
Yes.
How about some good weather for her?
We have some beautiful weather for you, Dallas, as you get ready to head to Disneyland with your family on Monday. The temperatures are going to be cooling down from what we saw today.
So comfortable.
Yes, it's going to be nice and comfortable out there. It's still going to be sunny, and maybe we'll have some few clouds to start the day, but it's going to be a gorgeous day. Let's get back to what's happening out there right now. We are still under the command of high pressure across the West Coast, Southern California, remaining on the drier side. We do have those partly cloudy skies beginning to filter in, and they will remain that way, getting us through the rest of this evening. In fact, as we roll over into tomorrow morning, we may also see some of that dense fog forming. Other than that, we'll stay on the drier side. Let's talk about these impressive temperatures for today. Now, a reminder, downtown's not the only one that saw the heat. In fact, we not only saw heat, we set a new record, 91 degrees. Our old record was last year, 88 degrees back in this day last year. Our normal is 69 degrees, so you can see a big difference there, more than 20 degrees. And our lows off as well. We're above where we are typically at for this time of the year. Now, downtown, not the only one that saw the heat today. We saw that heat up and around some of our valleys, also into the Inland Empire, as well as as our low deserts. Check out the coastline. Wherever we see the orange at, that lets us know that we did see temperatures in the 80s there. And then, of course, up towards our high deserts, Lancaster, Palmdale, temperatures checked out in the 70s. We are under those partly cloudy skies. Temperatures right now in the downtown area, 69 degrees out there, and we do have a nice southwest wind flowing through, just about 3 miles per hour. Now, while LA, we're in the upper 60s, low 70s, we still have some 80s on the map here. 80 degrees up in Burbank, as well as over in Riverside. Palm Springs showing out with all that heat over there, 84 degrees, and it is still cool up in Big Bear, dropping down into those upper 30s. Our winds are behaving right now calm, 3 to about 10 miles per hour across the area. Dropping into tonight, we are still going to see those mild conditions out in Palm Springs in the 70s, and then we will have a lot more of those 60s filtering into our interior sections. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. This weekend, 86 degrees tomorrow, low 80s for Sunday. Monday, 73 degrees for Dallas, hitting Disneyland. And then for the rest of the week, we are going to be under dry conditions with temperatures slightly above their averages. Back to you.
All right, Star, thank you so much. We still have more news ahead of 8. But first, here's a preview of what's coming up at 9. Tonight, 1,500 cyclists ride to remember a woman and her daughter both killed after a driver hit them while they were riding a bicycle. The message these riders want to send to City Hall. Plus, Riverside County Animal Services is investigating multiple cases of severely injured wild burros. Tonight, advocates are calling for answers. That's ahead at 9. Goats are now on the job in the Sepulveda Basin Wildlife Reserve, clearing brush and invasive plants to reduce fire danger. The San Fernando Valley Audubon Society hired fire grazers incorporated to manage the 3,000-acre area. Organizers say goats can reach steep, hard-to-access spots safely and sustainably, helping protect wildlife and nearby neighborhoods.
I knew that we needed to do something more long-term, and I've always considered myself a council member that's open to innovation, and here we are 35 acres going to be cleared from invasive plants, but also these goats provide fertilizer and manure, so we're excited.
Organizers say the grazing will continue over the next several weeks as crews work to lower fire danger ahead of peak season. A new mural of the Dodgers is coming to Torrance.
Just wanted to honor the team's Japanese-born stars. Artist Robert Vargas, famous Robert Vargas, will paint Samurai of the Diamond on the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel's south wall. The mural will feature Shohei Ohtani, Roki Sasaki, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
The new work I will create is intended to serve as a cultural bridge between Los Angeles and Japan. Torrance, as Mayor Chen has said, has one of North America's highest concentrations of Japanese residents, and this mural honors this demographic.
Painting begins next week with an unveiling set for March 24th. We have been following his works very closely. We'll sure to bring you updates along the way.
So he already has the Shohei Ohtani one in Koreatown.
Yes.
He has the Fernando Valenzuela one in
Bryant
Boyle Heights.
Yeah.
His work's incredible.
Don't go anywhere. We're not done yet.
LA Live News Tonight continues at 9 o'clock, right after the break. Stay with us.
across SoCal. This is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
District Board of Education today unanimously voted to place Superintendent Alberto Carvalho on paid administrative leave.
Now at 9, a major shakeup at LAUSD. Superintendent Alberto Carvalho is on leave after an FBI raid on his home and office looks like he would have failed $3 million AI chatbot deal may have to do with it. Plus, back behind bars, a convicted serial child molester granted parole is rearrested. Why his freedom is so short-lived.
And a 12-year-old girl tragically dies after her family tells me she was bullied at Reseda Middle School. We're live tonight with the parents' reaction and their message to other families.
And we're live from the coast of the Inland Valleys. Meteorologist Star Harvey with a preview of what's on the horizon.
Well, we got a lot of heat today. In fact, LA, we set some new records in the heat department. I'll have details on what our weekend will unfold like coming up a little bit later.
All right, Star, thank you. Good evening, everybody. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Marla Tejas. The FBI raid on the superintendent of LAUSD causing fallout at California's largest school district. The decision to put Alberto Carvalho on paid administrative leave comes after days of closed-door meetings by the school board. Let's go live to Fox 11's Ed Lascos in downtown LA with more on this developing story. Ed.
Marla, developing story and an unprecedented move by the Board of Education here in a unanimous vote, 7-0, after spending 2 days, some 8 hours, both of those days, closed-door meetings, back and forth discussions, finally deciding the board 7-0 what to do with their embattled superintendent. Watch.
We need to change the way education is funded in the state of California.
The chief of LA schools, Alberto Carvalho, is now a suspended superintendent.
The Board of Education today unanimously voted to place Superintendent Alberto Carvalho on paid administrative leave, pending investigation.
The Board of Education with its bombshell announcement, Carvalho now on paid administrative leave, on leave with pay, effective immediately.
I know that this is a very challenging time, and I want you to know that the board believes in you, supports you.
The Board of Education now on damage control, sending out that message to its teachers as LAUSD is reeling after a series of dramatic FBI raids at Carvalho's home in San Pedro, his district office, and another home in Miami.
So it's concerning.
And it's sad that it had to come to this?
Yeah, it's sad because we thought, I don't know what's wrong, if he's a good person or involved in something that we don't know.
It makes you think like, what was you doing for you to be suspended? So yeah, that's something we have to really just wait and see what's going on with that. Because that is very shocking.
The federal raids all thought to be connected to this chatbot.
Hi, I'm learning every day just like you.
Carvalho strongly supported that AI program, with the district paying out $3 million, but it was never implemented in the schools.
That would be the least thing that we would have thought of, but although it has happened, it is, unfortunate, but we have to move on.
And they are moving on, naming District Administrator Andres Chait as acting superintendent.
Moving forward, employees, you'll be taking direction from him.
Now live, taking directions from him, the board president says, talking about Andres Chait. He is no stranger here to LAUSD, some 27 years with the district, serving as their chief of operations and safety until he gets that nod to be the acting superintendent. And Marla, it's really a nod that is indefinite. There's no time period here because, as the board said in their ruling, their decision, it really depends on that federal investigation and what happens with Alberto Carvalho and the feds, how all of that plays out. And certainly we'll get a much better idea when that affidavit is unsealed and we find out exactly what those raids were all about.
No word where Carvalho is.
That is the big question. You're right. Everybody's been asking that. One of his last public appearances, Tuesday morning, Fox 11, Good Day LA, he came in for an interview and he talked about some of the impending layoffs facing the district and some other items. And that was Tuesday morning. And then interesting, the very next day, Wednesday morning, the raids go down, Carvalho disappears, and then the entire story changes. And certainly the district is reeling. The parents we've been talking to tonight really concerned, saying they hope it continues to be about the children and about the teachers, and they just hope it's settled quickly. Thing is, though, with a federal investigation, as we know, it doesn't end that quickly. It continues to go on because the feds really nailed down all that evidence before they move forward.
Definitely a distraction. All right, Ed, thank you so much. On to some exciting breaking news. Jackie, the bald eagle, has laid another egg. Friends of Big Bear Valley say it arrived just before 6 o'clock tonight. This is the second egg of her second clutch. And let's take a live look right now And it looks like, we'll just call it as Jackie there guarding the eggs, shadow probably off, gallivanting on this Friday night. So now we have 2 eggs that Jackie is keeping warm. She's resting. She typically lays eggs 3 days apart, so a 3rd egg could arrive Monday. Earlier this season, 2 of her eggs were destroyed by ravens, but this new clutch is off to a promising start. Just need to guard them against those ravens. All right, that's a live look there. Big Bear, Big Bear, that's where they are. Probably very cold. And now we are across town at LAX, where it's nice and mild out. What a hot day it was. Let's check in with our meteorologist, Star Harvey.
Yeah, that's right. You know, where we have Jackie up there sitting on those eggs with the shadow. Temperatures right now are in the 30s, so a lot cooler up there than what we are seeing across the LA and Santa Monica area. Our temperatures, yes, still on the milder side. Here's a look at how it's feeling out there. 70 degrees at downtown, but also at LAX. It's a lot milder across Torrance. 79 degrees. Anaheim, you're at 81 degrees. We got 76 up in Ontario. Over in Burbank, 76 degrees, and Malibu still holding on very strong there at an 80-degree marking as well. We have sustained winds moving at about 5 to 13 miles per hour. Malibu with that northerly flow there at 18 miles per hour. Now, our temperatures tonight will be slightly above their averages across some of the area. So we're going to see some of those 40s off across our high deserts, even over into our mountains. Temperatures dipping down into the 30s. Our low deserts will be on the mild side, 71 degrees, and then we are expecting to have our interior inland section in the 60s. Usually our temperatures are a lot cooler than that. Here's a look at this weekend. 86 for tomorrow. Sunday we're rolling into 81, so still going to be warm out there, just not as hot as we were today. Marla.
All right, Star, thank you. New tonight, a tragic loss for a local family after they say a bullying incident at a middle school is linked to the death of a 12-year-old girl. Let's go to Fox 11's Rachel Aragon. She's live in Reseda with what led to the child's sudden medical emergency and the vigil being held tonight in her honor as well. I can't imagine how emotional that was, Rachel.
A very tough day indeed. In fact, a tough week for this family that's now speaking out, Marla, because they say they want to shed light on bullying and want to make sure no family has to go through what they're going through at this moment. Take a look here. This is a photo of Kimberly, a 12-year-old girl, and her father when she was in the hospital and sadly dies just days after this photo was taken. Her family telling me she died after a school bullying incident at Reseda Middle School. Now, according to the girl's family, a metal bottle was thrown at her, striking her in the head, and then days after the incident, Kimberly said she had a really bad headache, was then rushed to the hospital, and ultimately underwent emergency brain surgery, but did not survive. This is Kimberly's uncle, who I spoke to earlier, who's like a second father to her, and he says bullying is absolutely unacceptable, and this is a very tough loss for this family. Take a listen.
It's the fear of every parent and every uncle and every brother and every loved one to lose someone, but especially when it's somebody so young that did nothing wrong to anybody, and she had no bad bone in her body, and it's just unfair.
Now, LA Unified School District sending out this statement here saying in part, our thoughts and condolences are with the student's family, friends, and the entire school community. They also add the district is taking the safety and well-being of our students very seriously. We are currently cooperating, they say, with law enforcement in connection with this incident. Now, we also know the family as well back here live, putting up a GoFundMe as well, raising money because, by the way, Marla, again, this young girl, she is the youngest of 5 children. We did speak to the parents earlier. We'll hear from them later on tonight. But again, a rally was held outside here, and we're told her friends came out to rally on her behalf, demanding justice for this beloved 6th grader. Pretty live tonight. I'm Rachel Aragon. I'll send it back to you.
And LAPD is investigating her death as a homicide, yet no one is in custody. When you mentioned that someone threw the bottle, was this somebody identified? Is this somebody known to be a bully to her?
The family did tell me that this is not the first time that she has experienced some kind of bullying, but no details, of course, on who. And again, LAPD, as you mentioned, it is a homicide case, but they stress they're not releasing more information due to the fact that juveniles are involved.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much. Outrage and a last-minute twist. A convicted serial child molester was rearrested after technically being freed after being granted parole by the California Parole Board. 64-year-old David Allen Funston was taken into custody by Placer County authorities on new charges stemming from a 1996 felony case in Roseville. That right there was his latest mugshot. Funston had been granted parole under the state's elderly parole program, despite being sentenced to more than 3 life sentences. I spoke to the former Sacramento County Deputy DA who successfully prosecuted Funston in the late 1990s.
Obviously, I'm relieved is probably the best way to say it, because, you know, the bottom line is he was released from prison. So the fact that the Placer County DA stepped up and did the work in a very, very quick turnaround speaks volumes about his commitment to public safety.
So he was officially granted parole. He was officially released, but literally upon his release, Placer County officials were waiting to take him into custody on these new charges that do date back to the mid-1990s.
Yes, that's my understanding of exactly what happened. He was never actually out of any law enforcement's custody.
Funston is being held on a felony charge of lewd and lascivious acts on a child under 14 years of age. He is due in court next week. New at 9, Riverside County Animal Services is investigating multiple cases of severely injured wild burros near Reche Canyon, and tonight advocates are calling for answers. According to rescue organization Donkeyland, one was so badly hurt it had to be euthanized. Officials urge residents to report suspicious activity, secure pets and livestock, and avoid approaching injured animals. If you want to support rescue efforts, you can head to donkeyland.org. A family demanding answers. Up next, Riverside County Sheriff's deputy was caught on camera punching an unarmed man during an arrest. What the video shows, and why the family says this is not the first time he is being targeted. And another emotional plea, the search for Savannah Guthrie's missing mother intensifies. The family is now offering a staggering $1 million reward. Plus, our state's snowpack is shrinking and warmer winters are the culprit. Why this could spell trouble for California's water supply.
someone out there knows something that can bring her home.
Tonight, Savannah Guthrie continues pleading for help finding her missing mother. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie vanished from her Tucson home February 1st. The family is offering a $1 million reward. The Federal Bureau of Investigation says more than 1,500 tips have come in, but there are still no more major breakthroughs. Anyone with information is urged to call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Developing tonight, a Riverside County family is outraged after their loved one was punched and beaten with a baton by a sheriff's deputy. This incident caught on camera. Fox 11's Nick Garcia reports from Paris.
Pay close attention to this video. You see Charles Beal getting out of the gray truck. A Riverside County sheriff's deputy comes towards him. You then see the deputy punch Beal's face as he backs away from him. The deputy then hits Beal in the leg with a baton several times. Beal was unarmed, and you can see here he was not moving toward the deputy.
I'm not against no police officers for doing their job, but if a person don't have a weapon on them, if a person don't rush you and hit you, there's no need to put violence to violence. Getting hit with something metal.
That's Beal's brother, Frank. He says Beal does have a criminal history. Most of his arrests have been for failure to appear in court related to a possession charge.
Why y'all keep releasing him if y'all gonna say, if y'all know he's not gonna show up to court, just keep him in there until his court date.
He says Beal struggles with mental illness, and the reason he's missed court is because he's often in the hospital. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says the incident happened after deputies attempted a traffic stop and the suspect, quote, failed to follow deputies' commands. Beal's brother says authorities misrepresented the reason for the stop to him and claims the deputy has harassed Beal in the past.
Justify the stop. If you pulled him over for a traffic stop, why ask him where the drugs at? That's all I'm saying, because when I came out and I asked him, why are y'all stopping him? They said a routine traffic stop.
The Sheriff's Department says it is reviewing this use of force incident. Now, we did ask the Sheriff's Department some specific questions, including if punching a suspect or hitting them with a baton as they stepped away from the deputy were in line with department policy, but we're only told the incident is under review. In Paris, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
New at 9, our state's snowpack is shrinking and warmer winters are to blame. State officials say the Sierra Nevada snowpack is just 66% of average for this time of year. That's despite recent storms. Warmer temps mean more rain and less snow, which impacts water supplies. California relies on snow melt for about 30% of its water.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
Live look at Santa Monica, where I have no doubt it was packed today given how hot it was. People seeking relief along the coastline where I know it was still warm. Let's check in with our meteorologist, Star Harvey. Really record-breaking temps today.
Yeah, across a lot of the area. You know, I do have several locations I'll bring up to show you that. But Marla, if you look really close here, we're at 9:20 p.m. and you can still see a few people out there, not just in the sand, but also in the water there along the Santa Monica Pier, and a lot of people still on the boardwalk. Not a bad place to be, especially when our highs today hit the 80s as well as the 90s across the region. And then moving into this weekend, we are going to see a cooling trend settle in, but still going to be warmer than our averages. In fact, our high pressure system still responsible for this heat that we're seeing. Here's a look at those new records that we set today in the temperature department downtown. Our old record was 88 degrees. This was the story for Long Beach as well. Long Beach also had an old record of 88 degrees. Today, both locations, not just downtown LA, but also Long Beach, clocked in at 91 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and get all the way down to the bottom of this list because we also have Fullerton. Fullerton got really close to that 100 degree mark, 96 degrees for their highs today. And they also beat beat out an old record of 88 degrees. Of course, our headline straight to the heat. It is still going to be warm as we move over into Saturday. Tomorrow, we may also still have some of that dense fog in place. So just give you a heads up there. We are expecting our steady cooling to linger through the weekend. And then moving into the start of next week, you will notice that the temperatures will be cooler, still above their averages. And the good news is that we do remain on the drier side. I know there's a lot of people that do not like this rain. We do have that precipitation that will be dragging itself into the northern portions of the west coast here. So across the Pacific Northwest, Northern California over the weekend, we'll also see some of that wet weather. And by Sunday, we'll see some of that wet weather seep down into Central California. But note that we do stay dry here across the Southern California area, not just for our Saturday, but also our Sunday. And yes, you do show those clouds moving in. Also the fog for us early tomorrow. Next week, again, we're starting off on the drier side and conditions are looking still beautiful out there. Here's a look into our highs for the LA area tomorrow, 86 degrees. And then for Sunday, we're looking at 81. Our 7-day forecast wants to go ahead and pop up. Plenty of sunshine, and you will show those temperatures trending downward by the time we enter next week. It's still going to be gorgeous out there, no matter which way you look at it. Marla.
All right, Star, thank you. A massive shakeup in the entertainment world coming up. Paramount beats Netflix in a $100 billion deal to acquire Warner Bros. Discovery. Why are critics raising red flags? Neil Sedaka, the singer-songwriter behind dozens of hits of the 1960s and 70s, has died. He was 86. Calendar Girl, along with Breaking Up Is Hard to Do and Oh Carol, were just a few of the hits Sedaka was known for. He broke out in the early years of rock and roll, which led to a second run of success in the 70s. He's also known for writing chart toppers for other artists as well. over the course of his career. Sedaka was nominated for 5 Grammys. The family says Sedaka was a rock and roll legend and an incredible human being. Paramount wins the battle for Warner Bros. Discovery, beating Netflix, a deal valued at more than $111 billion. Netflix withdrew after facing political and regulatory hurdles, clearing the way for Paramount's aggressive bid. Key to Paramount's victory was Oracle billionaire Larry Ellison's financial backing and political connections, including support from the Trump administration. The deal strengthens Paramount's position in the entertainment industry, combining Warner's iconic brands like HBO and CNN with Paramount's assets. Analysts expect the deal to reshape streaming competition. Well, the purchase is raising big questions. Critics worry the deal could hurt press freedom, media competition, and journalistic independence, especially under the Trump administration. CNN's CEO is urging staff to stay focused, but concerns remain about potential changes. California's Attorney General says the merger is not final yet as scrutiny over its effects continues to grow.
I'm Laura Diaz in West Hollywood. A famous actress and reality star says that she was drugged at a popular establishment here in West Hollywood. That allegation has people buzzing tonight. This story coming up.
Plus, ancient secrets revealed by a storm. 2,000-year-old footprints are discovered on a Scottish beach. What they tell us about life during the Roman era.
Across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Actress and former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Lisa Rinna says she was drugged during a night out in West Hollywood at the Abbey and later tested positive for fentanyl. Fox 11's Laura Diaz, she's live there in West Hollywood with reaction and more information for us tonight. Laura?
Yes, Marla, the alleged incident took place in January, according to Rinna. She says she was at a premiere party for Traitors. That is a reality show in which she was a co-star, and then you know what the allegations are from there.
Watch your drink. Don't let it go unattended.
Reaction was swift after hearing the allegations put forth by actress Lisa Rinna on sister station Good Day New York that her drink was spiked with drugs while attending a party at the Abbey in West Hollywood. Rinna underscored the bombshell claim to hosts Rosanna Scotto and Jerry O'Connell, who pressed her on why she thought she'd been roofied.
You made news about, you thought that maybe you were roofied at the party.
Yes. I was.
You know that for certain?
Well, I do.
Did you take like a test or something?
I did.
Do you know what it was?
I had fentanyl in my system.
What?
Yes, I'm not kidding. I had fentanyl, high levels of amphetamines and other things, but I can't talk a lot about it because we're still dealing with it. I can't say, but it was at the Abbey in West Hollywood.
On a warm Friday evening in front of the Abbey, most people we talked to knew about what the actress said happened to her at the popular West Hollywood establishment. Management at the Abbey wouldn't comment on the claim Friday, but they did release a prepared statement that read in part, "We pulled and reviewed all available surveillance footage from the time in question and interviewed staff on duty. We found no evidence of drink tampering or suspicious behavior toward her." Patrons were split on the allegation.
I think that's horrible. I think a lot of women come here thinking it's a gay bar and that it's safer, but I've heard about the allegations about the roofie.
I don't know what places like the Abbey can do to control that because it's so easy to mix that drug into your drinks.
There's already been so many stories of her on Housewives. She does a lot of stuff, a lot of drugs.
The Sheriff's Department put out a statement. It said West Hollywood Station is aware of the incident involving a local establishment in the city of West Hollywood. At this time, the incident has not been reported to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We urge the victim to reach out to West Hollywood Sheriff's Station so the incident can be documented and investigated. Now, Rinna went on to say, too, that she was fortunate that she had her husband there and that he was able to get her out of the Abbey. Laura Diaz reporting live from West Hollywood, sending it back to the studio.
And basically during this interview with our sister station in New York, this wasn't information that she really wanted to talk about, but somehow they got it out of her.
Well, according to Rinna, she said that the information was leaked out. I know TMZ reported it as well. So she's saying that she hadn't really intended for this to be made public. I don't know exactly what that means, if she's meeting with lawyers, if she plans to file a formal complaint, but she went as far as she felt comfortable on that show. So we'll have to certainly follow up. Marla?
Right. Absolutely. All right, Laura, thank you. New details in that dramatic crash in downtown LA's Flower District. A 14-year-old boy still in the hospital tonight after an out-of-control car jumped the curb and hit several pedestrians. Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna has the story.
Midday Tuesday, security video captures the moment when an SUV veers out of control onto the sidewalk and into a tree. The vehicle crashed, left behind crushed flowers, and sent a half-dozen pedestrians to the hospital. 14-year-old Ethan Murrow was the most seriously hurt. His father remembers the call he got moments after his wife, mother-in-law, and son were hit.
Most horrific phone call. Nobody could give me information other than about my son on the floor and just painted a horrible picture.
His family had never visited the Flower District in downtown LA, and after this, may never again. David Murrow described his son's first words to him after a 1-hour drive from Riverside to get to him in the hospital.
First thing he tells me, it says, "Dad, I'm okay. I need you to be strong, and we're going to make it through."
Wise words from one so young, and it is his youth that will help give him a full recovery. The crash shattered his right ankle. Thursday, surgeons repaired it.
A long surgery and screws and bolts and wires and plates to put everything back together, so the recovery road will be long.
For now, the ankle will keep Ethan from his nearly lifelong passion, baseball. He has big dreams of the big leagues that started when he was just 3.
You're gonna play today?
Yeah. Until Tuesday's crash put a hold on his activities, Ethan was one of those kids that was always practicing, and he has the championships to prove it. Now the focus is on recovery. And what about the driver responsible for the crash? Murrow still doesn't know if this was an accident or if the driver will face charges.
When you change somebody's life the way that our lives were changed, absolutely, everything has repercussions.
Right now, we're told that Ethan is enjoying lots of visitors from family and friends. He doesn't know yet when he'll be able to go home. Both parents are not working to support their son, so a friend has set up a fundraising page, and you can find that page on our website, foxla.com. In Boyle Heights, Susan Hirosuna, Fox 11 News.
Former President Bill Clinton tells a congressional committee he, quote, saw nothing and did nothing wrong in testimony about his possible ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Those comments were made as part of Clinton's opening statements. He also testified that if he knew of Epstein's crimes, he would have turned him in. Committee members spoke after the deposition.
It was civil, and he set the tone, in my view, for the precedent that President Trump needs to now come and answer these questions, that Howard Lutnick needs to answer these questions, that other people part of the Epstein class who've been in these files need to come before this committee and ask these questions.
Long Beach Congressman Robert Garcia also spoke out, calling on President Trump to testify.
We are now asking and demanding that President Trump officially come in and testify in front of the Oversight Committee. He appears in the Epstein files next to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell almost more than anybody else. So it's time for the president to answer questions about why files are missing from the DOJ, why there's been a White House cover-up, and why we continue in that administration to call this investigation a hoax.
Neither Bill Clinton nor Hillary Clinton have been accused of any wrongdoing. She testified yesterday saying she's never met Epstein and had no idea of Epstein's crimes. Deepak Chopra's ties to UC San Diego will end in June. The decision follows revelations from the Epstein files showing Chopra exchanged hundreds of messages with Epstein. The university called the connection regrettable. Chopra, a voluntary clinical professor, denies any criminal involvement with Epstein. He addressed the claims earlier this month on social media. UC San Diego emphasized that appearing in the Epstein files does not imply wrongdoing. Well, NASA is reshaping its Artemis moon program, adding a new crewed test flight next year as it works toward a lunar landing now targeted for 2028. Artemis 2 is now set for an April launch, sending 4 astronauts around the moon without landing. That was moved back from a planned early March launch after a helium flow issue caused the rocket to be rolled back into the vehicle assembly building. NASA officials say the updated timeline is designed to move the program forward with safer step-by-step milestones.
So it's challenging, it's ambitious, but with this course correction, we are on a more stable foundation, a more realistic path to the milestones we have ahead.
This will be a challenge, and I know that we will continue to relentlessly pursue excellence at every step.
NASA says the added test mission is meant to strengthen the program as NASA works to safely move closer to a long-term return to the moon. The Los Angeles Rams hosted their 3rd annual Ernal Durden Coaches Symposium at SoFi Stadium this week. The event brought together high school and college coaches to celebrate Black Heritage Month and discuss leadership, culture, recruiting, and name, image, and likeness opportunities. Current Rams assistants joined collegiate coaches for panels, mentorship, and networking inside the team's locker room. The event's namesake, Ernal Durden, was a former NFL coach for the Rams and Chargers in the 1970s. LA Metro's newest merch caused a frenzy this morning, selling out in hours, but now it's back. Up next, we'll tell you why these shirts are turning heads and how you can grab one before they're gone again. Plus, the Apple TV Plus hit unleashes another Titan, and yes, Kong rules Skull Island. Movie critic Ray Drake joins us next. We
have some heat headed this way. It's going to continue into the weekend before we start to see things cooling off. I'll have all the details and everything you need to know on the other side of this break.
Kristen Bell hosts the Actor Awards, formerly the Screen Actors Guild Awards, this Sunday night on Netflix from the Shrine Auditorium. One battle after another leads with 7 nominations, followed by Sinners with 5. Ariana Grande is nominated for Wicked for Good, and Adam Brody is up for the Netflix comedy Nobody Wants This. I do love that show. The weekend is here with a whole lot of new entertainment options. CBR.com's Gray Drake joined us tonight at 6 to talk about them, including The Bluff. This stars Priyanka Chopra and Carl Urban.
It is perfect for streaming because it is simple and elegant.
Oh.
All right. So if you're a Priyanka Chopra fan, which I also am,
Yes.
you just get her, you get to watch her beat the crud out of people in this movie.
I like it.
Oh my God, it's fun. So there's a whole bunch of like bad pirates that show up. And they look like they want like a guy on the island. They don't. They want Priyanka Chopra. All her secrets that she's been hiding from her family are revealed. And the biggest secret is that she is a totally awesome ex-pirate fighter. Yes!
Oh, nice.
That's pretty much all this movie is.
Okay.
And so I would say, I mean, and it's just fighting after fighting, and then there's some more fighting, then they talk a little, then they fight. So.
It's perfect for the comfort of your own home.
Sure is. It was really fun to watch.
Okay, good. Also on Amazon Prime, Man on the Run.
Yes.
About Paul McCartney. And you wouldn't know it by my singing. Sorry. But I do love the song.
I think you did pretty well.
Thank you.
And you're backup singer for sure. Come on. He would be honored. So he was not always the Paul McCartney that we sort of cherish him as today.
How so?
He sort of can do no wrong in 2026. Like, he's a legend. He's got decades of great songs behind him. And certainly he was very appreciated and world famous with the Beatles. But he did go through kind of a dip in his popularity, and that's what this movie looks at. Is literally like the day after the Beatles break up. What happened to Paul? There was sort of a moment where people thought he was dead, then he wasn't dead, but he was just hiding from everyone, and then he started releasing music, and the world said, eh.
Oh, wow.
Right. And we don't really think about that much.
No. I mean, you just think of him as, well, I do anyway, as a beloved Beatle who
of course.
Then did some great duets, including with Michael Jackson.
Sure.
One of my favorite songs.
There's some peaks and valleys in there that we've forgotten about. And so you get to see also that the Beatles were really contentious at that point. And it is done by Morgan Neville. Now, he's a documentarian who's worked with Steve Martin, Pharrell. He's done a great documentary called 20 Feet from Stardom about backup singers that you could have been in, Marla. And so he's so great, and you get to see so much great like personal footage. This is definitely for Beatles fans, definitely for Paul McCartney fans, but also if you've just lived on planet Earth and ever heard one of his songs, you're going to find this interesting.
Yeah, it'll pique your interest. Okay, so again, Man on the Run on Amazon Prime. Lastly, Monarch: Legacy of Monsters Season 2 on Apple TV+. I didn't know that there was even a Season 1.
Well, what's noteworthy about Season 1 is that they're bringing together all these classic monsters like Godzilla and King Kong, and they're all fighting each other. But as far as the story goes, they're filling in a lot of the gaps that we have from movie to movie. So they've created some new characters. Most noteworthy is Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell playing the same character at different points in their life. So that's really cool to watch. The show itself jumps around a lot. And as you get to know these characters and about the formation of the Monarch agency that's mysterious in the world of King Kong and Godzilla, you sort of learn like there are real people behind this organization. It's the best example of what a TV show could do in, say, 6+ hours, as opposed to a movie that's only 2.
Okay, so you should have seen Monarch season.
You definitely need to watch season 1.
Was it called just Monarch?
Yeah, this show is on Apple TV.
Okay.
And so definitely watch season 1.
Okay.
But when season 2 picks up, we're diving deeper into their lives, and it's more fascinating with a new monster that for nerds like me is pretty mind-blowing.
Okay.
Titan X should not be missed.
Well, you shouldn't be missed here or on CBR.com. That's where you can check out more of Gray Drake's reviews. As always, a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Have a good weekend.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
The cast and filmmakers of Disney's Zootopia 2 are celebrating the film's home entertainment release and record-breaking box office success. Disney's Zootopia 2 is now available on streaming platforms. The cast and crew celebrated with special events, including a lesson from their animation dance choreographer for the hit movie. You can catch the movie on Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. And Zootopia 2 arrives on 4K, Ultra Blu-ray, and DVD on March 3rd, which is early next week. Can't believe it's already March, and we are rolling into March as we cool off, though. So we'll be significantly cooler by the time March rolls around on Sunday.
Yes, that's right. You know, we finished out this month, February, very strong temperatures in the 80s and 90s. And yes, just as you heard Marla say, we are moving into the next month above where we should be, but still a lot cooler than how we are ending February. High pressure to really thank for that. We are under dry conditions. We do still have those partly cloudy skies sticking around, and tomorrow morning likely to wake up with some of that dense fog in place. Now, here's how impressive we did today. Downtown LA, we hit 91 degrees. That's a new record. Our last record was set last year when we hit 88 degrees. So just by a few degrees there, we came above that, but well above our normal of 69 degrees by more than 20 degrees. We did not just see heat across the downtown area. In fact, we saw a lot more of it across the San Fernando Valley, up near Santa Clarita Valley, down into the Inland Empire, but also our low deserts. If you take a look here in all of the orange along our coastline, Ventura County, moving moving across our LA County beaches into the South Bay, Long Beach, and also into Orange County. We saw those 80-degree temperatures, and our mountains also made it to the warm side today. 60 degrees. That is well above where they are typically at for this time of the year as well. Now, we are under partly cloudy skies across the downtown LA area. Temperatures in the 70s right now, and we do have some areas coming in a little bit warmer than that. Woodland Hills still holding on to 77 degrees. We're still at 81 over in Palm Springs, and our mountains a little bit different up there, a lot a bit different actually. Our temperatures at 36 degrees. Our winds behaving, moving at about 3 to 10 miles per hour across the area. As we do get into tonight, some areas are going to be milder than normal. In fact, if you look at our interior section here, we are going to see a lot of 60s on the map. We'll still be holding on to some of those 40s up across the Antelope Valley. Our low deserts will hold in the 70s for our lows tonight. Getting through this weekend, high pressure will be in place through tomorrow. As we move into Saturday, late Saturday into Sunday, we start to see that system dissipate. We do keep the moisture off to the north of us, so we do remain rain-free here across Southern California, even not just for the weekend. That's going to be the case moving into next week as well. 86 degrees for LA tomorrow, 81 on Sunday. We'll drop down into the 70s by the time we get to next week. If you're in the valleys in the Inland Empire, temperatures for you in the upper 80s tomorrow. As we move into the back half of the weekend, 82 degrees, so still rather warm out there. And then by the start of next week, your temperatures also dropping down into the 70s. 60s for the mountains this weekend, upper 60s. And of course, we got to check on the coast. I know a lot of people are going to be flocking out there to the pier. 79 degrees for the coastline tomorrow, 73 for Sunday. And next week, those temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. Back to you.
All right, Star, thank you. New at 9, LA Metro's Ride the D shirts are back in stock after selling out this morning. Yes, I said it, and you see it there. The shirts celebrate the D-Line subway extension, which opens May 8th, bringing rail service from Wilshire Boulevard to Beverly Hills for the first time. Metro calls it a historic moment for transit in the area. The shirts come in regular and crop fits and are available on Metro's online shop for $20 and $21. Fans quickly snatched them up, prompting a restock announcement Friday afternoon. That doesn't surprise me. All right, still ahead. A sea turtle named Pork Chop is swimming free again after a year of recovery. We'll show you the moment she returned to the ocean next. And before we head to break, let's take a live look at Jackie and Shadow's nest up in Big Bear. At the top of the hour, we brought you that breaking news that Jackie has laid her second egg of her second clutch this season. She looks like she's resting nicely on this Friday night. Stay with us. New at 9, storms in Scotland uncovered 2,000-year-old human and animal footprints on Lunan Bay Beach. Locals walking their dogs spotted the rare markings, prompting archaeologists from the University of Aberdeen to rush in and document the site before it was destroyed by tides.
First day we were down there, the weather was horrendous. $55-mile-an-hour winds.
Just in case you were thinking of doing archaeology for a career, maybe don't.
I love the sense of humor. The prints dating back to the Iron Age offer a glimpse into life during the Roman era. A rescued green sea turtle named Pork Chop is back in the wild after nearly a year of rehabilitation at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Look how big Pork Chop is. Now I think I know why they named him Pork Chop. The turtle was found in the San Gabriel River with a severe fishing line injury and a hook lodged in its mouth. After surgery and months of care, staff released Pork Chop near a local sea turtle population.
It was incredible. She was so happy. She dove right in. We waited a little bit, and then you saw her head pop up downriver a bit. And what was really incredible was, within minutes, another sea turtle head popped up right next to it. So we're hoping she's making friends.
Oh, it sounds like it. The aquarium says that after surgery, Pork Chop only has 3 flippers, but she should have no problem adjusting in the wild. She is swimming freely on this Friday night, as she so deserves. Thanks so much for watching LA Live News Tonight. Our 10 p.m. newscast just minutes away on Fox 11 right here.